Hey guys, we're here in Tioga, Louisiana at Tioga Baptist Cemetery, and right here I'm at the graves of some of my ancestors. Elder Henry Alexander Rochto is right there, and his father Henry Rochto is right here, and his mother Denise is right here, and then there's some other extended family all around here, you know. But so we were just getting set up and trying to get started here, and I soaked all these with D2, and while I was doing that I noticed that there was another piece of stone right back here, and I picked it up, and I noticed that there was a foundation here with a broken stone, and you can see an epitaph there, and you can see where it says I think that says 31 years. It might be 51 or 81, I don't know. Let's see how old. So geez, 81. It would be 81, I think. So anyways, I said, well, my mom sitting right here, she says, well, where the heck's the rest of it, I wonder? Well, this thing right here was sitting in front of the stone, and it just kind of dawned on me that maybe for some reason they put a piece of it behind and a piece of it in front. So I pulled this up, and I'll be damned if there isn't the top half of that stone right there. Now I'm kind of bummed because I didn't bring my epoxy to fix that. That is his original headstone. So what I devised a plan to do is temporary fix. I'm going to use some hydraulic lime mortar in the joints to hold it together. That should hold it well enough until I can get down here to properly repair it, at which point I'll probably move it over next to this one so that it can be visible. But I don't want it to disappear on me, so I'm hoping maybe next year I can make another trip down here and do some of these things that I'm finding issues with. So anyhow, I got the camera set up, I got all this stuff set up, everything's kind of soaking with D2 right now. I'm gonna get working on this, and when I get that done, I'll turn my camera on and we'll start doing some cleaning. All right, so I think this is definitely the top half of the stone. It's got a rounded edge up here, so it's probably a rounded top on this. Probably belongs up here. Very small stone, white marble. This ground down here, I'll tell you, is like a really rich clay type soil, and it's hard to dig in. Yeah, that is definitely that's definitely the top half of that stone. Oh yeah. Oh man, this is awesome. Why am I so excited? Well, this is your ancestor too. So I just hope that it doesn't come out of there in any more pieces. Actually might be a lot more stone there than I thought. There we go. Got it coming up now. Oh yeah, there we go.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow. Henry Rochto died November 6, 1921, aged believe that says 81 years. Wow, that's amazing. Oh.
74.
This says 81. They probably didn't really know his real birth date.
Probably not.
This stone definitely says 81.
Wow.
It's got a piece missing out of it, but that's okay. We'll get it cleaned up and do a little temporary fix to it, and maybe next year I can come down and fix it for good. Whew. Don't always have to agree with the things that they did and the things that they believe, but you know, he's part of the reason why we're here.
That's right. It's history right
Yep.
there.
Yep. Wow. So we'll get this cleaned up real quick, and I'm gonna set it to the side and let it dry, and then we'll do a little bit of repair work on it after we get everything else cleaned. So get my Orvis soap mixed up, and we'll get to scrubbing. Alright, I got my Orvis soap mixed up here, and I'm just going to get these cleaned up, and then like I said, we'll set these aside, and we'll do a temporary fix to them. I really wish I would have brought my epoxy. I looked right at it and I said, no, probably not going to get that involved. I did not expect this though, that's for darn sure. It is too. Really, this bottom piece, which was on the back that was out of the ground, is the worst looking one.
Yep.
That clay soil must have just sealed right around this thing. And it's surprising that this isn't mineralized more than it is. I mean, it's dirty, but how great is that? Got it pretty well cleaned up. Just got to rinse it, but yeah, that definitely says 81 years. So I'm guessing they got his birth date wrong.
Yeah,
on the original stone, which isn't, it's really not that uncommon. People didn't know when they were born. You know, he wasn't around to tell them when he was born.
Nope.
Yeah, look at that. Wow. Isn't that great? Flip it over and lay it over here. Okay. Alright, now we're going to move on to the other bigger stone and get all these cleaned up. The sun is just in the perfect spot to make it difficult for lighting, but we'll get something figured out here. All right, we're gonna start here on Rosa. Rosa, I'm not really sure how she's related to Henry. I think It's possible that she could be a daughter. Yeah, probably. It's possible that she could be a daughter. I don't remember even seeing her in my family tree, actually. So we'll have to do some digging on that. The lighting is terrible because the sun is on the wrong side of the stone. But you guys can see this at all. This stone and that stone and Henry Alexander's back there are all supposed to be a white marble, or they're kind of a weird material that looks kind of more like quartz to me. But this thing is supposed to be white. So we'll see if we can get it to show some of its true color before we leave, but I highly doubt it. I did treat these with D2 before I started filming digging up Henry's stone there. So they've had D2 on them for about 15 minutes. You can actually tell it's supposed to be white now, can't you? Oh yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah. We'll treat that with some D2 again. It's probably going to turn orange again, but get some D2 on there before it dries. Yep. There. That's about all we're going to do to that one. Huh? Yeah, I know it. It'll turn orange as a pumpkin. That's something. Alright. Come over here and do Isabel. Right here, she's got this little... close up on this one. She's got this little granite. This is a polished granite. Looks like, yeah, looks like somebody comes here and puts fake flowers on here for her anyways. Somebody must be nearby. Stock.
Oh my goodness. Look at that.
Yeah, stuff just melted right off, didn't it?
Wow.
Okay. Now we'll get on to this marker for Henry here. And we were sitting here talking about this and wondering, you know, what are the circumstances behind him having both this marker and this marker, and because, you know, it was at a much later time that Confederate soldiers were allowed to have government supplied markers. And you know, it may have been after he died that Congress approved markers for Confederate soldiers. But so we were talking about that, and the only thing we can think is, you know, somebody got him this stone after this one broke, or either that or he died in 1921, and I want to say that it was like 1929 before the United States recognized these folks as United States veterans, and allowed them to have the honor of having a government issued grave marker. So, you know, it's really, really awesome that we found this original marker, and I can't wait to get it repaired permanently. And the other thing too is I looked around this cemetery, and I really think Henry here is has the only Confederate marker in this whole cemetery. So I'm kind of interested about that, to know if there's a reason behind that, or who got this marker for Henry. Because may have to look up his 1906 it was? Really? Okay. Well, there goes that theory.
In accordance with an act of March 9, 1906, Congress adopted the same size and material for Confederate headstones as for Union deceased, but altered the design to omit the shield and give the stone a pointed rather than rounded top. In 1929, the authorization was extended for graves in private cemeteries. So he wouldn't have gotten that until
29, because this is a private cemetery.
Right.
And what did I tell you about the pointed top earlier? The pointed top was designed to keep Yankees from sitting on them. Yeah.
Oh, in 1930, this makes a difference too. The War Department implemented regulations for Confederate headstones that also authorized the inscription of the Confederate Cross of Honor in a small circle on the front face of the stone above the standard inscription of the soldier's name, rank, company, and regiment.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't have gotten that until at least 1930.
Right. And it was similar to that's kind of a similar story to the Union soldiers. The Union soldiers, at first, they only got the shield and their name and their rank and whatever unit they served in, I believe. And then after that, they added things like, you know, you could get the birth date and death date on there, or you know, and then they added the symbol of religious symbols. You could get a cross or a Bible or whatever added to it if you want. I'm guessing, yeah, and it probably would have been a descendant or a spouse, which Denise here died in 34. She may have. We can look up the application. Yeah. Yep. At least the state of Louisiana should have a copy of it if it's not on Ancestry, which it might be. Clean this broken piece of the old stone. We're going to temporarily attach that back to that piece that's on the ground here. With any luck, it'll stay. I can get back. All right. that's it for that one for now. Well, I better rinse it, shouldn't I? The front of this one wasn't too bad to begin with, but the rest of it was terrible.
So somebody's just been cleaning the front of it.
It's possible.
So you
It's-
can read it.
It's possible that maybe a historical society or something came around and cleaned just the front of it so it was legible. Yeah, 1st Battalion Mississippi Cavalry. And the 1st Battalion Mississippi Cavalry was actually made up of veterans from Louisiana, or folks from Louisiana, and Mississippi and Arkansas and Texas. And the majority of them were either disabled or too young to fight really in an actual battalion. And that's what this company was made up of mostly. And which I don't know if he got shot in the back while he was serving in this battalion, or if that was something that happened before and he was disabled and then went back to fight with this battalion because they were taking disabled veterans.
Yeah, that I don't know.
But you know, that's
Died with a bullet in his back.
actually, he died with 2 gunshot wounds because he was he had an accidental discharge from a pistol where he shot himself in the leg.
Oh no.
And that's when he discharged from I'm guessing a battalion earlier than this. So and then he went back, I think, and fought for this battalion with a bunch of other injured or disabled. And then the other gunshot was in the back during the Colfax riots.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Which, if people watching this video don't know about the Colfax riots, it's look it up. It's not a very glorious thing.
It's not an uplifting story.
It's actually really sad, but I cannot stand here as someone in 2021 and judge what this man did in the 1800s based on what he thought, what he believed in, what he thought was right. All I can do is honor this man for being my ancestor and having fought for what he believed in, right, wrong, or indifferent. I don't think what he did was right. The Colfax riot was a horrible situation. He left that riot with a gunshot wound in the back. He died with a bullet in his back. He walked with a limp the rest of his life. So that was probably a daily reminder of what he was involved in, and I'm sure, you know, possibly by the end of his life he may have regretted that decision. But you know, it's not my job to judge him. It's the Lord's job to judge this man, and all I can do is celebrate his life and his legacy to a degree, and the fact that he lived long enough to make someone who made someone who made someone who made me. So without this man, I wouldn't be here. So now what I can do to try to pay for his penance, or pay his penance, is to try to do good in this world. So that's about it. We're gonna move on. Okay, so now we've got here Denise, who this is your great-grandmother? Your great-great-grandmother.
Yes.
Yep.
My great-grandmother was Laura Elizabeth.
That's right. Yep. Yes. So this would be Henry's wife, Denise, and we actually have a picture of her. Shoot. Yes, we do.
Oh, do we?
Yeah, Denise Doddridge Favreau Rochto. Yep. and I'll show it to you later.
Yeah.
She was looked like a mean old lady. Oh, I'm sure every bit of that is true. This is another polished granite. It's going to come right clean. But I'm going to also clean her flower pot here too. Now, yeah, we're going to put flags up. But you see this concrete piece under here? It's the same thing as that. I'm guessing it may not have had markers.
I bet that
On
in the middle there was on top of that.
On Find a Grave, this has got Denise's name painted on it.
Really?
Years ago. So family must have got this new stone, you know.
Probably this one too.
Right, right, yep. That's why I'm thinking that Isabel is Henry and Denise's daughter.
Maybe. Somebody should know. Somebody will know.
Somebody, yeah, Aunt Mary probably will know. Out of rinse water.
I've got one more though.
2 more. Yep.
Where was mine?
There. That thing looked beautiful. There's no water spigots here at this cemetery. I was worried that 5 gallons wasn't going to get it. You know, we traveled, what, 1,500 miles, 1,600 miles now
Yep.
from Michigan. I didn't want to bring 2 5-gallon jugs of water with me. Of course, I just hauled them empty and filled them up at my grandparents'. But I think I'm going to have to go across the road and see if the lady will let me get some water. So we're going to clean up on one more, and then I'll probably need some water. Hopefully I'll get through this one. Now, this is great-grandma's grandfather. No, father. Father. Yes. My great-great-grandfather. Yes. And he's the one that was the Baptist preacher. And I know that it would do my great-grandmother good to see his headstone cleaned up. So we'll get this one scrubbed down. This is also supposed to be white material. And you may see some of it poke out here, but it could possibly take a couple weeks for this one to get white. It's funny because I looked at this one on Find a Grave and I thought that it was a gray marble. In fact, I wrote down notes, and I wrote on the note paper that it was gray marble. And then I got here and looked at it, and you can see white here. Must be where the rain drops on it. And she's definitely supposed to be white. So we'll see what we can do with it. Look at it turning orange. Re-wetting that D2. All right, I apologize if you can hear my cousins cursing on the phone back here. But I found a guy across the road give me 5 gallons of water, so that's pretty awesome. And this is dried up a little bit, so we're gonna kind of wet everything down again. And then we'll give it a good scrub. All right, let's give that a rinse. Man, look at that. So much better, and it's not even perfect yet. This stone has a long ways to go. We're going to spray it with D2 and we'll see how good it gets. And what I'm gonna do is all these stones that I cleaned today, I'm gonna put in a request on Find a Grave for new photos like in 6 months and see what they look like, because these should clean up really nice over the next 6 months with D2 with the weather that they get around here. So we got one more here to clean, and I think that's going to be it. So let's get to it. So at this point, I probably have divulged enough of my family tree to have you guys do some investigative work. You can probably figure out exactly who I am and who my parents are. But this is something that I've been wanting to do for a while now, and I'm glad that I'm able to come down here and get this done when we can here. Especially grateful that I was able to find that original stone from Henry. Look at how this is cleaning right up. And this is a polished granite border, but this is a sandblasted granite in the middle here. It usually is pretty hard to get clean in Michigan, but this is a different kind of growth down here, and seems like it's coming right off. Of course, I did treat all these with D2. This one's probably been almost an hour ago since I treated it with D2, but wait till you see what this one looks like. You can kind of see it already. Looking pretty good. Get that one rinsed. Oh yeah, look at that. That looks great. We'll spray both of these down with D2, and that's going to be the end of the cleaning. We just got to get those two pieces of Henry's mortared up and do something with them so they don't disappear on us, and be good to go. Get out of here. It's hotter than heck out here. Alrighty, now we're on the back side of Henry's Confederate marker here, and this is the original base. It actually looks like it was probably repaired. Oh, I don't know. That looks like mortar from the 30s maybe. But for now, since I don't want these pieces to disappear, I'm going to do exactly what I don't like to see done. I'm going to use regular hydraulic lime mortar on this joint and on the next joint up to hold these together so that they don't disappear on me. And next year I'll come down here again and I'll get some permanent repair work done on these. That had some epoxy putty in there. It doesn't look like it worked, but so This is not something that I advise, but this is a temporary fix that can be easily undone. You're going to take just some hydraulic lime mortar. You're going to put a thin layer on here, and you kind of want it to be a little wet. Because well, especially down here, it's so hot, you want this stuff to cure slower, so that it's not, so that it cures strong. This is going to be a strong bond if there's enough contact points, which there is quite a few contact points. This will be a strong bond, but it's not going to be so strong that you can't undo it. And epoxy, on the other hand, it's harder to undo without damaging the stone to some degree. So it's not going to look the greatest for now, but this is about the best I can do today, and we can do a repair upgrade sometime next summer. Actually, it'd be nice to come down here right after the kids got out of school or something. Bring the whole family down. So that's all that I'm going to do for that joint, and I'm going to do the same thing here. This has got a big piece missing, so we're just going to do a couple dabs here. I mixed up way too much of this mortar like I normally do. Anybody that watches my videos know that I do that very regularly. But this to me is important, so I wanted to get it done. I wanted to do it. I sprayed this with D2 earlier and let it dry. Everything's drying really fast in this sun, and this thing luckily stands straight enough that I think I feel safe leaving it just like that. That mortar will dry up before it gets dark with that sun beating on it. That'll be a good strong hold for now, but it's far from permanent. So next year come down and we'll fix this the right way, get it infilled and everything, and I'll probably move it one way or the other so that it can be visible from the front. But obviously there's a discrepancy in his birth date between the one stone and the other, so it'll be interesting to dive into that now too. It's a bit of a mystery, but anyhow, that's it. We're done. We're gonna pack up our stuff, get out of here, and I acquired myself a new fishing pole also, so I'll show you that some other time. All right, let's get out of here.